All right, guys, we're back for another Q&A with Coach. This time, we're going to talk about all those fancy metrics you get on your Garmin watch. Got a question from Paul the other day. He wants to know about ground contact time, specifically the asymmetry between your left and your right foot. So a lot of you guys, if you have those fancy GPS watches, they'll give you a metric basically telling you how much time you spend on your left foot versus how much time you spend on your right foot. And Paul is concerned because he spends actually 48.5% of his time on his left foot and 51.5% of his time on his right foot. So is this asymmetry bad? And what can he do to correct this asymmetry? So I think it's helpful to know first and foremost that everybody has asymmetries. Nobody is perfectly symmetrical, not even the best runners in the world. So, Paul, you're in good company. In fact, there was a study published last year. I know they wrote about it in July in the New York Times, July 2017. And it was a study done on Usain Bolt. And they did a study showing that even the fastest man to ever live, he's asymmetrical. That's a tough word. And they found exactly what you are experiencing right now, the fact that you're spending more time on your left foot than your right foot. Same thing with Usain Bolt. The other thing that I want to bring up is Garmin actually published a lot of data based on user metrics, and they found that 50% of runners spend somewhere between 1 and 2% more time on one foot than the other. So in other words, Paul, you're in really good company. Everyone's asymmetrical. It really is just a difference of degree. You know, how asymmetrical are you really? 50% of runners are 1 to 2%. I think there was like 40% of runners were under a 1% difference. And then there's about 40% of runners who have more than a 2% difference in symmetry. So that's kind of substantial. If you have more than a 2% difference, we should try to work on that. And so I guess what I'm saying after all this is, number one, everyone has asymmetries. Number two, even the best runners in the world have asymmetries. And so it's not something that you should be overly concerned with. But that doesn't mean that you should totally ignore it, that you shouldn't do anything to correct this very small imbalance. And one of the most effective ways that I've found to counteract these kinds of imbalances is doing strength exercises on one leg only. Because when you think about it, running really is simply a series of very coordinated one-legged hops. And when we're strength training, it does behoove us to do some one-legged exercises. It's going to make sure that leg not only has the strength to do that single exercise, but also the coordination, the proprioception, the balance, and all those other aspects of athleticism that we should be working on. So Paul, if you incorporate some one-legged exercises into your program, I think that would be really helpful for you, and really any runner, even if you don't have a fancy GPS watch and you don't know all of these symmetry metrics that are available. Regardless, adding single leg exercises to your program is really, really smart. And so, you can go on strengthrunning.com and see, you could just search for the ITB rehab routine. You can look at the standard core routine. These are general strength and core routines that do include single leg exercises. They're going to be really helpful for this issue. Particularly, I'll note one specific exercise. In the ITB rehab routine, there's an exercise called the pistol squat, which is just a one-legged squat. This is an advanced body weight exercise, but it's super effective. If you can do 10 pistol squats on both legs, then you're going to have incredible balance and proprioception and strength. So Paul, thank you for the question. I hope this is helpful for everyone else. If you're freaking out about those percentage or 2 percentage point differences in your left and right leg contact time, you don't have to worry too much. Just do some one-legged work and you should be good to go. All right, if you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss more videos like this, more exercise demonstrations, and more Q&As. Look forward to helping you guys out in the future with your running. Until then, I'm Jason Fitzgerald at Strength Running, and I'll talk to you later.